Your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at game number 10 in R20 from the ColecoVision series. And this game was released by Parker Brothers in 1984, and it is the first sequel to the classic Mr. Do. And this is Mr. Do's Castle. I did not even know that there was a version of Mr. Do's Castle for the ColecoVision, and it is excellent. It can be kind of hard, like the arcade game. I remember seeing the original arcade game, I think at a 7-Eleven back in 1983 when the original was released. But yeah, this is a great port. This time around, Mr. Do is armed with a mallet, and he is in a castle with multiple floors, and there are no skill settings in this game, well, other than just one. So you just press the fire button to begin your game. And we'll get started. See, you can go up the different floors, and you can break the blocks by swinging your hammer. And the enemies this time around are called unicorns. They're monsters, and they have a horn on their head. And there are different blocks. There are cherry blocks. You can eliminate all the cherry blocks and beat the level. And there are key blocks. If you break all 3 of the key blocks, then there will be a cross up at the top. And once you collect the cross, then all the monsters will turn into letter monsters. And the letter monsters were in Mr. Do. And here, the letter monsters cannot hurt you. You can hurt the letter monsters by smashing them with your mallet, or dropping blocks on them. And the letter monsters, again, can spell the word extra, which will give you an extra life. And you will see the flags at the right side of the screen. I've only got the letter A, so I need E, X, T, and R. And there I got another cross sign at the top center. And like I said, the letter monsters cannot hurt you in this. Just go ahead and go up and smash as many as you can as time permits. And the amount of time that is permitted to have them be the letter monster changes during the game. Something else that changes during the game is early on, when a monster falls in a gap that you made and creates its own block, you can smack that monster at the right time as it walks over a block, and you can crush the monster. But as the game wears on, you can't do that anymore. Well, now I only need T to get an extra life. But yeah, this plays very similar and looks very similar to Mr. Do's Castle. The last blocks that I didn't mention yet, they are skull blocks. If you break both the skull blocks, then all the blocks in between will fall. And if there is a monster standing directly on one of those blocks, it will get smushed. Or if there are monsters walking below those blocks. And note that we have a green monster. He is faster than the other monsters. Ah, damn it, I didn't get any of those letters. But if you're going to get all the key blocks, whoa, then you really should knock the number of monsters down to a few, just to make them easier to control. Because if you got a whole bunch of them, then you might not be able to get all the key blocks. You might be killed. But there is one more color of monster, and there I got him with the skull blocks. There is one more color of monster, and he is blue, and he is the fastest, and he is the most dangerous. And if you take too long to kill the blue monsters, they can split up into more blue monsters, and you can get really screwed, because then they will start to get real fast. The amount of points that you get for dropping a block on a monster will increase if there's a long shaft full of holes, one below each other, and they fall all the way down after smashing the block on them. And hey, I got my tea, so now that gives me an extra life. But like I was saying, just like in the arcade, early on in the game you can smash a monster right when it's standing on a block and kill it and drop the block below it. But only early on in the game. Later on, the game doesn't let you do that anymore, and I think that's stupid. But those of you who have played Mr. Doo's Castle in the arcade have got to admit this is a great port. Ah, crap! Oh man, that was close. Yeah, I ran out of room there. And note that once you break both skull blocks, there is a bridge created where all the blocks in between were. And you can't break the portions of the bridge. Well, I got a few of the letters. The free credit diamond from Mr. Doo is also in Mr. Doo's Castle. Now, I don't know for sure if it is in the ColecoVision port, but I know that the free credit diamond is in the ColecoVision port of Mr. Doo. I've seen it. If you ever wanted to know how to get the free credit diamond in the arcade game of Mr. Doo, then you simply have to watch the demo screen 12 times from the boot up. And on the 12th time, right when Mr. Doo collects the prize, insert a credit. And when you play your game, the first apple you drop will make the free credit diamond appear. Ah, damn it! I forgot I needed an X. And one of those monsters was an X. I don't think any of them was an R. But there could be multiple monsters with the same letter, and there's no guarantee you'll get the letter you want. Yeah, now I can't squish the monster and the block at the same time. That's stupid, but that's how the arcade did it. I hope you're having a good week. Hope you're looking forward to the weekend. Hope you have some cool stuff planned. I don't particularly. I need to pick up a sliding glass door for one of my closets. It got repaired, and I have to mow the lawn. Not how I really want to spend my weekend, but it's gotta get done. Hope you're doing all right during the shutdown. I'm kind of bored, but that's okay. I'm not very social anyway. I can get the things I need. Yeah, I remember right when this came out, I saw it at 7-Eleven. I would get all sorts of little candies and play this game. Get a big old cherry Slurpee. Man, I used to love 7-Eleven. They're still great. They have fantastic hot dogs. Yikes. Hey, go. But yeah, the monsters will get out on their own volition. They'll create a new block where they climbed out of a gap eventually. And the tougher monsters, like the green and the blue ones, will fill in that gap quicker. Well, now all I need is an R. I think I was unable to get the R. But yeah, the free credit diamond is in the arcade version of Mr. Do's Castle. I do not know if it is in the ColecoVision version. And yeah, the blue monster gets out of that gap almost immediately. Ah, crap. And he's way fast. I hope you're enjoying my ColecoVision series. I was not sure how I was going to put it together, and now all of a sudden I checked out videos of certain games, and I was like, wow, that game definitely has to make the list, and that game definitely has to make the list. When you see the color change a little bit, or the screen gets a little lighter, then that'll tell you that the power to turn the enemies into letter monsters is run out. Something I didn't mention yet is that you can push the top of diagonal ladders to make it so the monsters can't follow you. Oops. I underestimated the speed of the blue monster. But yeah, you can push the top of those diagonal ladders, and that'll move the ladder away, and the enemies can't follow you. I mean, they'll have to find a different way around to get to you. There were so many things about this game in the arcade that was really cool, and some things that frustrated the hell out of me. This was definitely harder than Mr. Do, or at least the arcade version was. Yeah, I hit all three of those key blocks to make that cross accessible. If you're wondering whether just hitting a monster with your mallet does anything, it does not. It just makes it maybe back off just a tidge, and that's it. It's otherwise totally useless against just a monster. You have to use the blocks against the monster. Oops. Yeah, if a red monster can change it, can morph into blue monsters if you take too long. And I was just, I better get up there and touch that cross. Yikes. There's no T, or there's no R. Ah, crap. Yeah, I just needed a stupid R, and I could not get it. There we go. I had already broken one of the skull blocks, so I just hit the other, and then I killed the last monster. Yeah, you can also end a stage by breaking all of the cherry blocks. And if you can get the free credit diamond to appear, yikes, it will appear. Ah, damn it. If you can get that free credit diamond to appear, it will appear when you break a block, and where that block falls is where the free credit diamond will appear. I have gotten it in the arcade game in MAME, I think like once or twice. and that might be completely random. If there is a... oh, damn it, I broke that too soon. Yikes. If there is a way to get the free credit diamond that you know of, please leave a comment. I only know how to get it in Mr. Do. And on the first stage, I've already mentioned that. Cool. There's still no R. Yeah, I had definitely not heard of this back in the day for ColecoVision. The only game I really played on the ColecoVision was the first Mr. Do, and that was it. ColecoVision had crappy controls, but they weren't as bad as the Intellivision disc or a keypad control. Yikes, get away from me. The ColecoVision had a knob for a joystick instead of an annoying disc like the Intellivision. There's still no T, or no, an R. And then the, oh crap, the ColecoVision also had a keypad like the Intellivision. Sometimes you can miss the monsters when you're breaking the two skull blocks. That monster has to be right over one of the blocks in order for you to kill it. And it took me a few games to get this good at ColecoVision Mr. Do's Castle. But once we're done with this, then I'll just show you what it looks like to beat the stage with just breaking the cherry blocks. Yeah, I don't think I was able to get the R to get my second extra life, but at least you got to see what it looks like once. Those blue monsters get really, really fast. Especially... oh crap, yeah, I ran out of room. Well, that was my game of Mr. Do's Castle for the ColecoVision. Excellent port. And yeah, all the games on this list are going to be ColecoVision arcade to home ports. Now let's look at me finishing the stage by breaking all the cherry blocks. And there's just that one over on the right side. Yeah, you can touch the monster right after breaking the last cherry block and not die. But that was Mr. Do's Castle for the ColecoVision. Game number 10 in R20 from the ColecoVision series, created by Parker Brothers in 1984, based on the first sequel to Mr. Do. This is Crazy Climber, so thanks for watching Mr. Do's Castle. I'll see you soon with game number 9. Bye-bye, folks.